Hi, Stuart.
Hi. Nice to see
Welcome
you.
back. Clearly pleased to have you back again. Last time we spoke, you told us about your incredible story of breaking away, taking a risk from breaking away from corporate life, and fulfilling your dream of setting up your own laundry business, which you did. You actually picked up a heavily loss-making laundry business, and you spent the best part of 3 years turning that around and bringing it back into profit. But as you did that, you were hit by lockdown like many other businesses in the country. And you told us about the situation that you found yourself in. Tell us where you're at today.
Okay, so we are back operational, which is fantastic. I mean, this is a small business, but we've 85 employees. It's a 20,000 square foot building. So when you're rattling around in it on your own with maybe half a dozen staff, it's a very different business. And it's amazing how much I think we've all missed the heartbeat of the machinery going and the buzz that the day-to-day business life brings. So we're open. The hospitality industry is, as expected, somewhere between 30 and 50% operational. So we've got a direct link with that. So are we. So we have half the hours that we'd normally be using in the plant. But we're ready to go. Everybody's come back really positive about coming back to work. It's been on the whole, been a very positive thing for people being on furlough.
Oh, that's fantastic. How did you keep your staff engaged during the furlough period?
That was a challenge, I have to say. I mean, the majority, obviously the first thing we did was we did a newsletter. So that went out to everybody because I was very concerned that not everybody was technologically, with it. I've got a varying age range and ability range. So we did the newsletter first, out with the sort of pay slips. That was quite a simple one to do.
What did you put in the newsletter?
Well, everything that was going on with the business, first of all, because we've been very open book with the team. That's half the reason that I would say maybe more than half the reason that we've got so far so quickly is that we've got full engagement with the team. Mm-hmm. From day one, we were very open book with the business plan. So while we didn't want to worry anybody, with the newsletter had to be, the business update is this. We're running at 10% of our revenues. We've got 6 staff in. The future looks bleak. And I was painting a really, just trying to give them an update of this is real life here. Because a lot of people went from working full time, the next day they're on furlough, being paid 80%. And so for some people, they were I was worried they'd be quite detached.
Yeah.
So newsletter was the first thing. And of course, you didn't get any feedback from that. That's the only downside to that. Mm-hmm. Then we ventured onto Zoom. So, everybody's on Zoom. So we did that. That was a real challenge.
Was it? Why?
Well, because the numbers are just 85. So we had to do it I had to do it in sort of small groups. Learning how to mute, unmute, do we really want feedback? Should we do questions? All of that. But It was a great experience because people were to give us some feedback, and 99.9% were delighted to be back in contact with their employer.
Oh, fantastic. So what sort of feedback was really useful to you that you could act
on? Concerns about coming back to work was the biggest one. So we, in the newsletter and in the subsequent, we had 2 or 3 newsletters before the first Zoom call. So I'd put it into the newsletter, look, we're going to have to reopen in a different way. Business won't be the same. We're looking at how it will protect you as you come back to work. So at that time, it was a 2-meter rule. It was full PPE. And so they received the information and were really worried about attending work again. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to give them a bit of, they were able to ask questions about, well, what PPE is it? How long we'll have to wear it? What my break times? All the basic stuff.
So what you actually did then, Stuart, was you basically gave your staff a platform to tell you what they weren't happy with or what they weren't comfortable with, in order to make sure that when they did come back to work, they were confident and happy about doing so.
Yeah, and it's been really important prep to come back to work, because it was definitely more difficult for staff to come back than they thought. being away from the, I mean, we're working, most of the staff are working 10-hour days. So it's a long time on your feet, you know, specified break times. They've struggled. This week's been very difficult for people, you know, to get used to that again. So I've spent a lot of my time on the factory floor, just reassuring and working alongside the teams to make sure that they're okay. And obviously the PPE is difficult. It's hot. Wearing masks is never nice, you know.
No, of course.
So, but in general, you know, it doesn't take long before people get back to the swing of it. But 3 months is a long time not to be working.